Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Addicts Weekly Currency Update. Today is Friday, August 17, 2012, and this is Tim, the Currency Professor. Well, this week has been kind of a slow week for currencies. Not too much action. A lot of consolidation. In the euro against the U.S. dollar, pretty much starting out where we, pretty much ending where we started out the week. And ended last week. So not a whole lot of action, a lot of up and down here, but in a fairly tight range, probably within, it looks about 100 pips, maybe about 120 pip range here. If we look at the weeklies, we can see a little better how small the week really is. It is so far a up week, but we still have about 2 hours left of trading, so a lot can happen in that period of time. Now, technically, we've rallied up here, and we got this upward trend line here. More than likely, we're not going to reach that. We're probably going to fall off from here, at least the way it looks right now. And at the very least, test these lows, and more than likely get down to these lows that we made back here in 2010. So down around the 118.50 area is about where we should end up here. And we should do that probably by the end of the month, the way we're looking. Right now we're just slightly positive on the month as well, and technically we should end up the month down here around the 119, 118.50 level. So overall the fundamentals are still very, very poor for the euro, and there is some excitement out there that and confidence that Germany and the rest will come to an agreement, fix everything. Even if they fix everything right now, there's still a lot of damage that has been done, and economically there's a lot of damage, so it would take an awful lot to turn it around. So there's a lot of false euphoria out there for the euro at this point in time, and eventually it'll become disappointment and it will fall off. Fair value right now is probably about 110, 112, and eventually we should get down to about par on it. So that's a fundamental assessment. And technically, too, we can make the case for both of those points as well. If we look here on the monthlies, about 112 would be where we really should be at this point on the monthly, and getting down to around par area would be down in here. So we could easily do that as well. Stochastics, though, on the monthlies are very oversold, but that doesn't mean that we can't go for several months declining and have those stochastics stay down there as well. British pound, very, very similar situation here, but at the moment it is slightly overbought. We can see here this last week we ran up a little bit. Now today we are falling off. We're down about 41 pips, but for the week we are up. And this slight incline here is just that type without very little momentum. So we've come up now. We're testing these highs for the third time, fourth time here. And really, there is no reason for us to keep going here technically or fundamentally. If we look at the weeklies, we can see how flatline we are. We're in the same range that we were several months ago. So there is no real action here. We keep bouncing off of this trend line. Eventually, we're going to break that. Probably this month, if not this month, and certainly in September. It looks like probably by the end of this month we could do it, though. We could get down to the 153 level, 152 maybe even. And that would send us then much lower, down into the 130s, most certainly. So very, very weak there longer term as well. U.S. dollar against the Swiss franc, up a little bit today as we're coming into the close of the week, and very flat for the week. Up 30 pips right now, about 97.50 area. We look at the weeklies here, we can see how we've really stair-stepped it up, and this week we're pretty much where we opened the week and pretty much where we closed last week. We had a decent week last week, and now this week is kind of floundering here, so we'd look for it to at least consolidate maybe one more week, and then we can make a new stab at the highs up here and quite possibly past the par level. On the monthlies, still looks very strong monthly-wise, so. And this month, pretty much where we opened the month and closed last month. But we still have a good solid two weeks of trading left, so a lot can happen in that time. U.S. dollar against the Japanese yen, well, on the dailies here, We've had now 5 days up in a row. We're up 20 pips today, back up to 79.50. We've broken above this trend line here, so we're doing very, very well. Looks like we have turned the corner. This has turned into a base now. It was a test of these lows, couldn't quite make new lows, so now we're going to run off and we're going to make new highs here eventually. We look at the weeklies, we can see how this week is shaping up to be very strong. Again, we came down, we bottomed, we rallied up slightly, couldn't make it any further, came down. We've made now a basing pattern for 3 weeks. Got a couple of good dojis in there, so we're really looking fairly strong here. We need at least another week of this to continue and get up above these highs that we made about a month and a half ago. If we look on the monthlies, we can see we really need to close this month above the last 3 months' highs. If we can do that, then we'll certainly go up next month and take out these highs back here. There'll be a lot of momentum then and a lot of encouragement for that to happen. Euro Swiss still hanging out around that 120.10 area. No action during the week at all. Euro Yen gaining, the euro gaining against the yen for most of the week here, looking fairly good. However, this rally could probably be capped, unlike the U.S. dollar against the yen, because of the weakness of the euro. Now, the yen will probably continue to get weaker longer term, which will help the euro slightly here. But overall, the euro is probably still the weaker of the two currencies. So we can end up in a very long consolidation here, which we've already started. Really, technically, though, we should sell off from this point. So here we are now. We're in the 4th week here of a slight upward move. We've done that before and then fallen off. Really, technically, longer term, we need to get in that upper 80s, lower 90s area to kind of complete this whole pattern, and then maybe we could rally back up slightly and consolidate for several months before we actually go back up. But we need to form some sort of a bottom, and more than likely in this type of a pattern that we have here, it should be a spike low where we actually drop down to make new lows in the 80s and then come right back and then consolidate for a while with an upward bias. That would be the thing that would happen here technically. Fundamentally, well, there's a lot of argument back and forth as to which way it could go, but the weaker of the two currencies really should be and is the euro at this point. So any rallies are going to be very difficult. That is it for the week. Please stop by FX Addicts. We are around most of the time. I am in the process of finishing up a book that I'm writing, so I am not available on the website as much, but feel free to shoot me an email and I'll be more than happy to connect with you. Thank you and have a good week trading. Thank you.